Lighting in Space Engineers can be one of the most overlooked aspects of building, but it's actually really easy to use lighting to make your builds feel lived in, and I'm going to give you 5 tips to help you elevate your creations and create a more immersive experience, adding drama, depth and ambience to your Space Engineers builds. Guide lights are a common way of indicating direction and safety. When building a path for vehicles, consider the directions they're expected to move in, the orientation they should be in, and the size of the spaces vehicles are expected to move through. Most countries follow the Vienna Convention, which I definitely heard about before making this video, so simply having 2 lights, green for go and red for don't go, will show everything that you need when navigating using a ground-based vehicle. Most people in the world drive on the right, so I'd recommend placing green on the right and red on the left. If you're playing with colorblind people, consider making the red one blink to differentiate it. If your route has height restrictions, an odd shape, or you're in space, consider using other lighting to highlight the shape of the passage to show that. These lights are particularly helpful while navigating in fog, as they're still visible at a great distance, letting you navigate home safely in the worst conditions. Conventional lighting will have lights placed above the eye line, most often against the ceiling. While this is a great way to light an area and keeps fixtures out of the work area, choosing to light in different ways can set a completely different mood. This entryway has a space underneath that will usually go completely unnoticed, but we can use it to light things in a more interesting fashion. If you have the Warfare 2 DLC, you can use the searchlight for this, but we're going to use hinges and spotlights to create angled lights, shining up through the grates above us to light things that pass by from underneath. And here's a bonus tip: avoid white lights. To make lights feel slightly warmer, just remember these numbers: 255, 223, 192. Set the red, green and blue slider to those numbers for a slightly warmer light, and set the intensity to 1 to ground the light realistically into the scene. Then, just park your rover over the lights at an angle for a moody, dramatic showcase shot. Some of the most interesting lighting in the game doesn't even involve light sources at all. Space Engineers employs a trick to help make one of the most beautiful approximations of ray-traced lighting that I've seen, especially in a game that centers on player-built worlds. And we can exploit it to get the same flood-fill lighting effect from the cinematic masterpiece The Dark Knight and countless music videos. This is easier if you have the Sparks of the Future DLC, which has larger LCD panels, but you can use LCD panels of any size and shape as an indirect lighting source. Placing LCDs on a surface and changing the background to a colour of your choice will flood the area with light of that colour. Here, I reversed the order of the numbers that I gave you earlier to make the light look more cold and artificial. Please bear in mind that there are a couple of gotchas with this technique. If there's no line of sight between your head or the camera and the LCD panel, then the effect will not work, leaving the area entirely unlit. So be sure to combine this with some traditional lighting techniques to help smooth it out. If you've ever been out travelling at night and watched the lights go by, you'll often notice that each bulb gives off a slightly different colour to the next. While it's easy to simply set a swathe of lights to the same colour and call it done, by applying that variation in lighting to the lights we're placing, we can give something the appearance of age, poor maintenance and low quality control. While these things might seem to have negative connotations, remember that just like humans, everything is a little bit different and broken in its own special way, and that's okay. Here I started off by making everything the same orange colour, and I've slightly tweaked the colours to give it that variation it needs to look like a space that has withstood the test of time. Consider too that poorly maintained lights might flicker. Use the blinking controls at the bottom of the console panel to give it a little breath of life. As a bonus tip, in a situation like this, you're able to set the radius to 3.75 meters before it starts bleeding into other columns, giving your lights a little extra reach. Talking of blinking lights though, it is possible to use them to give directions. When building a landing pad, runway or corridor, consider taking the time to place some lights and using the blinking controls to precisely time the blinks of the lights to have them lead a trail or emphasize a location. These lights can help guide engineers to their destination. I like to have the length set to 2 seconds with a 5% blink time and a 5% offset for each light in the sequence. However, don't hesitate to fiddle with the numbers to achieve the specific effect you're looking for. Explore different combinations to create mesmerizing patterns and make your lighting truly unique. But here's the exciting part: with the recent automatons update in Space Engineers, automating your lighting has become easier than ever. You can now set up intelligent lighting systems that respond automatically under specific conditions. Imagine your landing bays instantly signalling their availability as ships land and depart, and corridors lighting up red as combat begins. It's a game changer that enhances the immersive experience of your builds. To learn more about the incredible possibilities of automating lighting and other aspects of life in Space Engineers, check out the video on screen right now.